Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf. Remember her? She's the leftist mayor who would rather let criminals walk freely on our streets than have them face deportation. Just listen to her back in February, tipping off illegal aliens of a potential ICE raid that was coming that day.
Yesterday, I learned information from multiple sources that there is potentially an ICE activity planned in the Bay Area that could be starting as soon as today. My priority is to keep this community safe.
Well, her priority was letting criminals escape the law, and she ought to have been brought up on charges for that. That's called aiding and abetting wanted fugitives, and that's exactly what she did. She doesn't want to keep her community safe because if she did, she would be cooperating with our ICE agents who are working to get these illegal criminals off our streets. Violent criminals, mind you. You're talking about rapists, murderers, robbers, and the list goes on. She may not want to keep her city safe, but the great people from the Immigration Reform Law Institute intended on keeping that city and everywhere in this country safe. They announced that they are suing Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf and members of her staff for alerting illegal aliens of the ICE raid. Joining me now is the executive director of the group who is bringing up the lawsuit, Dale Wilcox of the Immigration Reform Law Institute. Dale, great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
So I am glad you are suing her, but I wish a prosecutor was charging her.
Well, hopefully DOJ is still investigating. Sessions said his people are looking into it, and we have statutes, federal statutes, that prohibit harboring illegal aliens, which in my opinion, that's what occurred here. When you prohibit illegal aliens from detention from authorities, detection from authorities, that is harboring. So hopefully ICE will continue, but in the meantime, we are going after the mayor for her actions. Specifically, we're digging into all her communications and who she's been working with and conspiring with to alert illegal aliens and criminal illegal aliens, as you stated, to ICE operations in her area.
All right, so, you know, in this whole conversation, if we took illegal aliens out of the equation and she had somehow tipped off anybody wanted by the Oakland Police Department for convenience store robberies or rapists, just to let you know, the Oakland Police Department's going to be conducting a roundup of wanted fugitives this afternoon, no one would have any problem. But because we put illegal alien, or as they say, undocumented worker in front of it, everybody's got a problem. Someplace along the line, we got very messed up as a nation that we're this politically correct to let criminals roam free on our streets.
Well, you're absolutely right. It was dangerous and irresponsible. But remember, she's looking out for her political interests because illegal aliens, if they get to stay here, they're counting on their votes in the future. So this is political, really. But she's risking the safety and security of her community. It's just unbelievable that a public official would do this.
So I would imagine you need somebody in Oakland to be a plaintiff to your lawsuit. Do you recruit people there to join this suit?
Well, this suit, we're digging into her communication. So this is really a public records request that, believe it or not, the city of Oakland ignored. They just ignored producing documents. And we filed the lawsuit yesterday morning under California law. And lo and behold, guess what happened? Yesterday morning, California time, the city contacted us. They had been nowhere to be found before this, and we had asked about the status of our request and where are the records you promised us? Nothing. We filed a lawsuit yesterday. They finally contacted us and said, oh, here are some documents, but we've gone through the documents. They aren't responsive. They've turned over records that just aren't responsive to our request. We want the communications between the mayor and the chief of police, her public safety director, her communications director, a host of public officials, which they are avoiding turning over to us. And interestingly enough, in the communications that we've managed to obtain, the mayor is not using an official email address from the city. She's using what appears to be either a campaign email address or a personal email address. And it sounds quite familiar to other politicians in the news who have done the same.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, this is a common theme among all politicians who want to hide things. I don't care what party they're from. If you want to hide something, you try to get this personal email and you do your business there. The courts have ruled over and over again that it doesn't matter if it's in a private email. It is of public record, because what these elected officials fail to remember is that, Dale, you and I are their bosses. Everybody out there watching right now are their bosses. They work for us. And sadly, this fight you're having over all of this in Oakland, I promise you, goes on in, I would venture to say, way too many cities across the country, if not upwards of all of them.
You're absolutely right. It does. It does. And bottom line here, 800 criminal illegal aliens were able to escape apprehension because of her tipping off an ICE raid. 800 criminal illegal aliens. And since then, some of those illegal aliens have committed more crimes, such as spousal abuse, robbery, DUI, and put Americans at risk. And they've had to be recaptured, re-prosecuted, and recaptured by ICE.
Yeah, you know, we've had people on this program who've had loved ones that were killed by an illegal alien. In many ways, one is drunk driving. And I remember interviewing this woman from Oklahoma. Her husband was killed by a drunk driving illegal alien. The left wants to push that off as not a major crime. I'm telling you, somebody gets behind the wheel drunk is a major crime. And these are repeat offenders doing it. Whether they're driving drunk, putting citizens at risk, or whether they're robbing convenience stores or breaking into cars. Something's got to be done. And when we're at a point where we're having literally government officials tipping off these criminals, something's got to be done. And I'm glad you're doing something about it to get to the bottom of this story.
Our pleasure. Something has to be done. You're right. It's a nationwide crisis. Thankfully, the president has taken this in hand, and Attorney General Sessions, and they're going after these recalcitrant jurisdictions. And we look forward to receiving those documents through our lawsuit.
Yeah, well, I hope you keep us apprised of the situation there and keep us informed of what you uncover. I promise you, it's not going to look good for them once you get those documents. They know it. That's why they're keeping them from you. Dale Wilcox, as always, it's great having you on the program.
Thanks for having me.